So I'd just like to quickly go over a few tips on how we're planning the Trans Algarve paddle. It's a 160 kilometer paddle. Alright, so it's a couple of days to go, and I'm really looking forward to this paddle. A little concerned that I haven't done anything this big before in my life, but hey, we'll get there, we're going to take it slow. What I'm going to talk about is a few things. Let's talk about the kit list, the stuff that we're going to take across. We're going to talk about the route, where we're going to go, where we're going to stop, where we're going to sleep at night, the weather, talk about that. As you can see now, the weather is pretty awesome. If we're paddling now, it'd be great. There's no wind, and it must be about 25 degrees in the sun today, so perfect weather now. Perfect weather now. And then I just talk about a little bit of preparation and training that I've done. Okay. Firstly, I've got like this massive thing in my tongue. It's like an ulcer, so I can't really speak properly. So excuse that, would ya? Cool. All right. Kit list. Well, first of all, I really need to talk about who's coming with. So it's Spike Reed, Mauro Engler, and myself, Nick Robinson. We're going to paddle across the Algarve from one side to the other, depending on which way the wind's blowing. It's either from Sagres in the west until Villarreal, St. Antonio in the east, to a total of about 160 kilometers. So if the wind's blowing the other way, we'll start in Villarreal, St. Antonio, and paddle back. Right now, the weather's all over the place, looking a bit crazy, but we'll get to that later. So Spike sent us a kit list, because he's done this kind of thing before, because he paddled all the way across the United Kingdom from Bristol to Putney, all the way along canals, and he portaged over 100 canals, 100 locks, which is quite an amazing feat. And so he's got an idea of what something like this, although this trip is going to be slightly different because it's not on a nice calm canal. It's going to be on a ragingly wild ocean at times, or hopefully nice and peaceful and Pacific Ocean. It's actually the Atlantic, but I'm using the Pacific in an adjectival sense. So our kit list, I'm going to put a list in the kit list on algarvesup.com/TA, which doesn't stand for tits and ass, it stands for Trans Algarve. And I'll put a kit list there so you can see what we're taking, because in case you want to prepare some kind of expedition like this yourself, you can see what we took, and then obviously add and subtract things that you might need for your own particular trip. Okay, but obviously the basics: we're taking 3 paddle boards, we're taking 3 huge dry bags, we're taking a lot of camera equipment, we're taking food, we're taking camping, because we're going to camp every night. We have options to spend the nights in friends' houses and hotels and lodges along the way, but to be honest, I think we might just want to camp most of the time, because it's more fun. I like it, I enjoy it, I think everyone else does too on the trip. So we've got to take all our camping gear with. We've opted for bivy bags and tarpaulins, although we might just take along a tent in case, but we'll see how it goes. And yeah, obviously we're going to take along some food as well. So I've been along to Decathlon, which is our major super sports store around here, which is a fantastic place to shop. Love it. Get lost in it all the time. And take me to any other shop and I just can't stand it. But Decathlon, that's my thing. Love it. So been there and bought some dehydrated major meals, some energy bars. We'll get some instant porridge and oats and some trail snacks like nuts and raisins and whatnot, and just a whole bunch of water. And then we might stop along the way for a little bit of, like a beachside snack. There's some really nice restaurants along the way. So the thing is with this trip, it's not like an adventure into the unknown. We're traveling across quite a well-populated region. There's 400,000 people in the Algarve, and we're going in November, so the weather adds a little bit of a dimension, because our winters, they're not as ferocious as Northern Europe, but we can get the odd swell around here, because right now the biggest break in the world is just north of Lisbon, and it's firing like 20-30 foot at the moment. So we might see a few swells that we have to deal with. But yeah, as far as the kit list, we'll take food as well, but we might be able to stop off at restaurants as well. Okay, Second thing is the route. So like I said, we don't really know which side we're starting off at the moment. 3 days to go. The current weather conditions look like we'll be able to start at Sagres, which I want to start. So we'll start at Sagres. Hopefully, I mean, all these things are subject to the weather and the wind and the waves and whatever. But we'll hopefully start from Sagres and paddle down to Lagos, which is 26.5 kilometers or 27 kilometers. And then we'll spend the night in Lagos. We can spend on the beach, or we've got a friend who's got a guest lodge there. And then from Lagos, we'll head straight across the bay to Portimao, across the Road River mouth, and duck in to Benagil, which is about another 25 kilometers. And in Benagil there's this huge, super huge cage. A lot of you guys out there have asked me and have actually been to the cave itself. It's become one of the major tourist attractions in the Algarve. Normally you get a boat there, but we do paddleboarding tours right there, and it's a fantastic cave. It's got a nice little sort of mini cave at the back where you can sleep in. So we thought that would be quite a wild place to sleep in. So from there we'll head directly east across all the remaining cliffs of towards Amassau de Pera, and then we'll head along towards Albufeira, along the big beach there. And then at Albufeira we'll duck around the Albufeira and land on the beach, in a beach called Falesia. It's another long, beautiful, wide beach with a few sandstone, very, very sandy cliffs. So we might just camp under those cliffs. Or my cousin's got an apartment right in the Villa Mora Marina, which we might be able to duck in and stay there. So it depends. I think we might camp there. But, anyway, we'll see what happens. And then after that we'll head down to Faro and cut into the Rio Formosa, which is a 60-kilometer long coastal wetland, which you can see I've made a video about that before. And we'll shoot across to Fuzeta, Tavira. There's tons of places to camp there, so we're just going to play it by ear. And now inside the Rio Formosa you really got to watch the tide, because the tide comes in and out obviously every 6 hours, and depending on where you are you can get some racy currents cruising through, plus there's wind to factor in. So we'll have to we're not going to paddle against the tide and against the wind. I think by that time we'll be a little bit tired, so we'll wait for the tide and then just push with it. Doesn't make sense to fight nature, does it? Once we get to Cabanas de Tavira on the other side of Tavira, then we're going to strike out across the ocean directly towards Villarreal Sant Antonio. If the winds change, we'll do the whole thing in reverse. Okay, so it's a little bit tough to plan, but what the hell. So now that's sort of the reason it's tough to plan, is because of the weather. So everybody might think that the Algarve is this absolute paradise and we get 300 days of sunshine out of 360 days a year. So those 60 days where the sun doesn't shine, a lot of them are happening right now, because we've had a heavy downpour of rain the last week, and actually this week it's been fantastic weather, but with 2-3 days to go we can see there's a bit of weather coming in this weekend, and just after that we'll be able to duck out and go paddling. So the things we need to watch out for, as I've mentioned before, are waves, because when you're trying to paddle a heavily laden paddleboard with all your gear strapped to the top, getting through 6-foot waves is quite challenging. I'd just like to chat a bit about preparation and training, because I've done some intensive preparation for this trip by going on a 7-day cruise around the Western Mediterranean, eating as much as I can possibly eat and drink, and that does include a little bit of alcohol, so not the best way to go around training for a 160-kilometer paddle. But as soon as I've been back, I've cut out a lot of the alcohol, and I've been on 3 intensive days of training. I've done about 15 kilometers a day, which doesn't quite add up to the 30 k's a day we're supposed to be doing on this trip. So anyway, I've been getting a feel for it. So the worst is yet to come, or the best is yet to come. It's going to be a great trip. So I'm feeling adequately prepared, and I know the other guys, we're just going to take it easy. It's a team job. We just go as slow as the slowest person. Maybe me. Everyone else is a little younger and fitter. But hey, it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be absolute fun, and I really look forward to catching up on a daily basis, doing some video blogs. Okay. See you on the water.